Welcome back to So You Think You Can Cast. This is the final week of Phase 1. 3 more casters will be brought to you today for your viewing pleasure to see whether or not they have what it takes.
Now, we've seen 9 people so far, 3 of whom have not made it into the voting phase. Big thing here, though, we have the final 3, and then we go into the voting phase. It starts tonight.
Starts tonight. The voting begins at the very end of this show. Once you've seen all the performers today, we do a quick recap for you. The voting will be live until Sunday, midnight, where you get your votes in, and the top 2 from the community will go through to the next round.
With that, today, we're going to have Ravage and Mako. Now, these 2 are primarily Xbox, and this is something new. Almost everyone we've seen so far is primarily PC, so these 2 are kind of vying for not one spot per se, but in my mind, they have the same demographic.
They do, but will their casting be to the same demographic as well? Because maybe one's play-by-play, maybe one is color commentary as well. We'll find out as this goes on. Because, to be fair as well, the way these names were drawn, they were all randomized as well. We didn't set them in a certain order to make sure someone was on the show at a certain time. It was all randomized between the 2, and the 2 Xbox guys fell on the same day.
With that, finaling today is going to be Lyral, our final female as well.
You can see all the casters up there on your screen right now, where 3 of them have been like, we've got a 33% failure rate so far.
Which means today, I would be afraid.
Who do you reckon? Who do you reckon? You got to call one.
If someone's going to get buzzed,
if you reckon one was going to get buzzed,
if someone's going to get buzzed, I think it's going to be Mako.
Mako.
I think it's going to be Mako.
Oh, we'll see, because like sometimes the dark horses of the competition, they're the ones.
Goremizer
last week, great performance.
No one expected him to show up Husey.
And he really did. In my opinion, he really did. Let's have a look at Ravage, though, first of all. He'll be the first one casting today. And Ravage, he's already done some commentary and still busy in the scene for some community tournaments. And from what we've heard of him so far, he's very controlled, is the best way I want to put it. He controls the air.
He's good. I've seen him cast a few times. I've actually done some casts with him. And I've actually watched the tournaments that he was casting for Mortality. You'll note in his bio that he is part of Mortality Esports. He's a decent caster, but as we've seen, as soon as that spotlight gets on you, you can turn to mush.
You can freeze and not know what to do, or even like respond as you normally would on a regular broadcast as well. There's going to be a lot more viewers this time round as well, as you all know, SMITE game tends to draw a bigger attention.
It's true. Next after that's going to be Mako. Now, Mako has probably the least casting experience of the 12 contestants that I've seen. One of the things that really drew me and Hinduman to this guy is he is almost, I think actually not even almost, he is 100% Xbox. He had never played PC.
And what I liked about him is his honesty, first of all. He was like, listen, this is probably going to be a hindrance, but I only do Xbox.
Yeah.
He's going to be casting on PC today for starters.
See, what I don't like is that he said, I've been active in competitive Smash. Now, I don't know that that's true. Granted, I don't know the...
Have you been active in competitive Smash?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Or is that serious?
What did you play?
I can't tell if
Ice
you're kidding.
Climbers?
Oh my God. I played Smash for a long time.
I played for a living. I was going to say, you must have been
Melee.
poor.
I played Melee. I did commentary. I know a lot of Smash players. So when someone says that they put up Smash, competitive Smash in their bio, I expect them to be relevant. To me, that seems like he's blowing hot air.
We'll see what air he does blow. But the third contestant today is the lovely Lyral over from the Geordie Shores, always known as Newcastle, in the United Kingdom.
Now, Lyral does have a small amount of casting experience. I know personally that she has been practicing a lot off camera, not with me. I have no idea whom she has been casting with, but I'm expecting big things. You know, she actually asked me if she thought I was going to if I was going to buzz her this week, and I basically said outright, we are looking for a distinct group of 4 people. If she is not as good or better than Sushi, I'm hitting the button.
It's the big key to it overall. It's not just because she's female either. It's just like, if you're not good enough, you're going to get buzzed. I don't care about age, gender, what you look like. It's about voice to me.
I do. We're entertainers. We need to have a perfect, diverse group. And right now, I think that's one of the biggest issues is our group isn't very diverse. We have Hinduman, me, Bart, F-Dot, and Adonis.
I've got bow ties.
He's got bow ties. That's about the only thing that sets us apart.
He's from Jersey.
I'm from New Jersey.
Jersey. Same difference. But we should be going live right now with the very first contestant of the day is Ravage. Ravage, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Not too bad.
Welcome to the show.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Really hot here in Newfoundland, which is weird, and I'm in a big suit, so yeah, forgive me if I'm a little...
Where's Newfoundland?
Oh man, Hindu, I expected you to know that.
I'm
If
sorry.
you're from the UK, yeah,
Wait,
we're
why-
the most
are
eastern,
are you in Newfoundland?
Newfoundland, most eastern point in Canada.
So
We
you're
actually have our own time zone.
oh, you're Canadian.
Oh, I'm from the Great White North.
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Well then.
So, Ravage, you've been doing a little bit of commentary. We have a pretty high expectation of what you're going to be able to do today. Do you... do you...
Do you? Oh, here's a question. Do you know
Okay.
Jeff Hindler?
No, I don't. I probably
You
should.
don't know
No.
him?
I don't think so.
I thought.
Oh, I know of him.
I thought
You
all
guys
Canadians
live
were
near
supposed to know
each other, though, right?
Yeah, all Canadians are supposed to know each other, right?
I think that's a myth. You know, we
it?
should. It depends. Yeah, if he's from the Maritimes, then I definitely know him.
South
But,
Park lied to me so badly then.
my
Like,
God.
that's why I got
Oh,
all my
yeah,
info.
that's it.
So, tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about your... I mean, we know about your experience. Tell the world a little bit about you.
Hey, I'm 25 years old. I'm from Newfoundland, Canada, as I just said. I actually had a foray in politics. I was actually the youngest mayor ever in Canadian history. A short
Whoa,
little,
no,
short-lived.
You're a mayor?
You can't just...
I was.
You can't just
I
skim over
was.
that.
Okay, yeah, this is where you have to Google because we can't go into this on air. But yeah, I there is a wax me I've come face to face with in Nova Scotia. But yeah, for like 3 days, I was the youngest mayor, and then it came down to the tie, and they drew names out of a recycling bin. And I actually had a lot of exposure back then, so I'm hoping that's going to calm my nerves a bit. I'm hoping.
Well, Mayor
You know?
Ravage, thank you and welcome to the
No,
show.
I'm
first of all,
not a mayor
no,
anymore.
I can say the artist formerly known as Mayor Ravage. How's that?
Yeah, okay,
I'm,
yeah, that
That
works.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you
No,
doing?
I'm trying to see if he's the youngest mayor. What's your first name?
Curtis, Kurtis, last name
Holy
Coombs.
shit.
Yeah,
He really
ignore the
is.
bad stuff, will you? Ignore the bad stuff.
he
please?
really is.
Yeah.
He's actually the youngest mayor
Yeah.
in Canadian history. You got my
Yeah, I
vote.
told
Well,
you.
to be fair, if you were
Yeah.
mayor, you should have known who Jeff Hindler was. I'm just saying.
Hey, I was a mayor in Newfoundland. That is, you know.
It's a small place,
Okay.
Canada.
Okay,
right?
okay. We
Right,
gotta move forward.
Jokes aside, quickly,
before
before we let
you
you go,
continue, yeah, go ahead. No, please.
Before you go,
please.
what do you prefer? Do you think you are the play-by-play person, the chair one, or do you reckon you're the analytical guy? What is it you?
Okay, I'm gonna get this question right this time because DM gave me a hard time on stream the other day.
Ah.
I want to be the lead guy,
Cool.
but I can do analytics. I'll do either, right? I like to trade off a bit, but like leading is, you know,
Then we'll find
yeah,
out.
I prefer. Yeah.
Good answer.
We'll find out after this short break, and you'll be casting with me. So get yourself set, and we'll see you soon.
All right, guys, as you've seen 3 times in the past, there are 2 ways to not make it into round 2. Either you don't get voted for by either me, Hindu, or the fans, or we hit a shiny red button that's positioned directly in front of me. If I hit this button, it is the F6. We're going to get me out of here. And basically that means that this person is not good enough to the standards that we would hold ourselves, and with that, they're out of there. For this... Oh, wait, do I get to hit it?
An ally has left the game.
Life is good.
How did you do it before you even hit? That's amazing.
I have the...
Static.
No, it's like the Google... I have the Samsung Note 3. It has like the air.
Oh, it's like the air.
It's the same
red
thing.
button.
It's the same thing.
Very good.
With that, this could be Mako's chance out of here. I'm expecting big things from the kid. He's done pretty well in the times that I have saw him. He did a few solo casts and a few group casts for the Mortality Xbox scene, and I know what he can do, but he's going to have to transfer that skill over to PC today, and I'm wondering if he can get that carry going.
We'll see exactly what he can do then. Because, I mean, I'm excited. Honestly.
I hope he does well.
I am.
I hope he does well. I think he has a real passion for esports, which is something that not everyone has. But we're going to be jumping into the game right now, guys. Hindu Man and Ravage. Hindu Man, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the cast. Ravage, joining alongside me. Lead me in, buddy boy.
All right, looks like we've got a lot of global pressure here in the game between Eager and it looks like TSM. It's not coming up here on my spectate, but yeah, it looks like we have a lot of global pressure here with Athena on Team Eager. As well, we look at the solo lane. We're looking at Sun Wukong versus Solo back up there. That'll be an interesting matchup for sure there, Hindu.
Yeah, he should be. I mean, for the most part, Sun Wukong should be very, very strong in this lane. And Sobek, well, he's just going to sustain this lane through, really. He can't really die against the Sun Wukong. It's going to be very difficult for that to happen, unless we see some jungle pressure, which, to be honest, from these two teams, could very well happen.
Yeah, and it looks like we have the Surcat on the side of TSM as well as the Nizog coming out from DoTA from Eager. So a lot of quick engage there from both sides.
Big key to note as well, both those junglers did start with Power Pot there. DoTA just popped his and is on the way over now. Meanwhile, Dagaz is going to have the Power Pot on his side as well. Going to go into a quick pause for a moment. Won't be a second to deal with the current issues.
Okay.
So how do you feel about the team so far, Ravage?
Well, I'm looking at the sustain that we have on the side with the Raw from Eager, and we know how Lasses can be so strong as Raw. We've seen that a couple times. He is able to make a lot of great plays in that character, and I'd be interested to see if he can sustain that in lane versus the Agni.
Yeah, very important for Lasses as well. He's very strong on that run. Landing those snipes is the key ability to really making Lasses well, his mid lane mages for the most part seem very, very strong. He's good on the Anubis. We've seen it on the Agni bombs before that as well. And this time on the Ra, it's a little bit more sustainy, which means he'll be looking to his carries in, for the most part, Zapman and DoTA to try and step it up and like cover the roles he's going to leave available.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think this game really is going to come down to jungle pressure at this point, and if they can get X-Ball to snowball into the late game, and that's going to be the real telltale sign for TSM, I think, if they're going to be able to get there.
And we are back into game now as the buffs do spawn up, and you're going to see Lasses pick up that red buff over on his side, as is Agni for Snoopy over on that side. And that's one thing to talk about as well, Snoopy's transition to the mid lane.
Yeah, it looks like Snoopy's playing the mid lane here. I'm not sure what's really going on with that. It'll be interesting to see how he fares against Lasses. Obviously, one of the premier mid lanes in the SPL.
But Snoopy was very well known for his AD carry role, now transferring there for his team, as they did bring in Jigs after moving Boosh away from the team. Boosh dropping down, but Right Harpy's going to be dropped here by Solo Mid at the moment.
It looks like Niza is going to come in to try for the steal, and she leads those Harpies over, but she's going to see this engage from Surcat. But Last is coming in, and there is the engage from DoTA. Not a whole lot of damage traded there, but Dagaras is going to go back to lane with about half health.
It's a small win, though, in my opinion, for Team Solo Mid, and they're going to for Egan, they're going to transition back to mid lane now, and maybe get a bit more dominance.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, it'd be interesting to see what happens. Here's an engage from Surcat. The Raw heal is going down. Lots of damage on Dagaras here, and DoTA are going to pick up that kill on top of Snoopy. Snoopy in trouble as well. Tower damage on DoTA, and DoTA are going to pick up that kill on Agni.
Big rim bounces for DoTA, and the big key for me in that engagement was that he leveled up just before that last tower shot hit him. Otherwise, he would have died.
And that's huge right there. To get that little bit extra health online was what really saved him there. We're going to see left mid camps go to Eager here, as TSM is not going to be able to contest.
They're not at all. And now DoTA in such a good position now. I mean, he's got that power pot still. Take into account Dagars dying there also denies him that 450 gold that he spent on that power potion.
And that's a huge thing. I mean, that's going to really put back his item build, and it's going to put back his early game. But the thing to note here, Surcat is late game, and if she can get to that point, if she can sustain and level up, she will be trouble again.
Well, you say that, Ravage, but across the way, I mean, there's a Nijar there, and Nijar is definitely late game if you can get that crit rolling.
Oh, that's true as well. It'll be interesting to see how that storyline develops. It's going to really come down to who's able to snowball onto the other lanes. We're going to look at, if you want to look at the dual lane here, Hindu, and just look at the goal down there.
Yeah, goal between the two teams, honestly, it's not so bad right now. I mean, at the moment, there's a small lead for Eager, but you'd expect this in this lane. It shows you Jabulonki and a Geb up against an Anher and an Athena. Anher and Athena, so much more dominant in the early stages at wave clearing.
And that's for sure, especially when you see X-Ball going into the whole Death Tolls and Devourers. You're not looking to go for that sustain build with Transcendence, and he's going to be without that clear starting off, but he will be able to sustain the lane.
Yeah, I'm going to love to see where Zapman heads with this build as well. Started with the Devourer's Gauntlets rank 1, can go into Soul Eater as well, so he may look for that option. It's not necessarily that he will, though. Maybe he's just looking for that spike.
And that's true. That could also be a thing as well. We're going to see Niza, DoTA on the side as he's going to go in on Snoopy, but the Path of Flames to get out of there. DoTA at half health, but he's going to be able to sustain up from Lasses.
Yeah, very easy sustain up for DoTA and Lasses. Now they're going to be able to rotate around and look for something in the jungle. Sadly, though, there's not much there for them.
Not much there. We're going to see a big engage here on the bottom lane, and here we go. And her with the ult on top of Jigs, and that could spell trouble for him as he is solo. He's going to go down to Zatman. Eonic also going to have the dash out from under tower.
Yeah, will fall down, and that's a really good pickup for Eager as well. We just said how that lane was going in favor of Eager early on in this game, Ravage, and now with that kill going over to Zapman of all people, this just, increases Anher's power in these early stages of the game.
And we're going to see the Niza ult going up here on Dagaras. DoTA are going to pick up that kill, and that's another kill for Niza to really start to snowball here. It's going to be hard for Dagaras to get back into this game.
And he's still got that power pot ticking till he's managed to pick up 3 kills on this Nijar early. He's already been back to base once as well, got beads online. He's just going to accelerate even more now.
Nearly 1,000 goals on DoTA here over Dagaras, which is going to spell some trouble here. Also levels on Snoopy and Dagars so far.
Going to be a rough ass now, honestly, because Eager's looking very, very strong now. They're getting kills onto the targets they'd like to as well. Lass is getting involved in the assist, but Zapman and DoTA, I mentioned at the start of this, with Lasses playing a healer type like this, they're going to have to rely on their carries a little bit more, and they're coming up trumps.
Yeah, and that's for sure. They're really going to have to worry about the carries here. Zapman's going to have to scale, as well as Niza, to really bring that damage into the late game here, because Lass is going to transition more into a support mage as we get deeper into the game.
I mean, he should do, but if the game goes well, they don't have to just go for that full supportive mage, but it will allow them to sustain after a little engagement, so if it can survive, it should be good.
And they'll be able to, after those engages as well, to sustain, to go for towers and go for map objectives if they are able to win those and come out on top.
That's right.
Which is something, yeah. So some builds, team comps, you're going to see, hey, we just won this team engage, but we can't transfer to anything because we have no sustain. We're not able to heal back up, and we can't take this tower.
Just a really good situation for Eager to be in right now. I'm going to have to see how Devios plays this one out as well, because at the moment, he's taken Teleport, and I'd like to see him pick up a Weakening Curse to go alongside it potentially to really shut down Lasses and the sustain. Take into account, he's also going to be up against this Sun Wukong still, so there's plenty of sustain, as well as take into account Nisha. He also has plenty of sustain.
Yeah, plenty of sustain there. The interesting note about the solo lane here is that Sobek had to get that teleport, as he is behind by a little bit in the solo lane to keep that gold lead, at least from spiraling out of control. He had to get back to lane.
But he's doing a good job though, right? I mean, he's going to fall a little bit behind, but it's not getting pushed out or aggressed on as much as you'd normally see but for Sun Wukong against most of these solo laners.
Yeah, what's going to come down to here is if Divios is able to get that rotation maybe to a mid lane fight, or maybe for contention for mid Harpies to kind of make up that gold deficit.
So he's kind of slowed down all of a sudden since those 3 kills for DoTA very quickly. We've just seen the pace of the game just be taken out a little bit, and I think this is more TSM playing it a lot more safer than Eager being under aggressive.
Yeah, TSM is trying to get to their late game. They want to get the X-Ball and the Sarkhat online before they chase anything too much further. Not to mention Agni. When Agni comes online, that's going to be a strong character for them as well. Right
inside, though, DoTA was looking for Devios, but he did just step on a ward, and you can see he just clears out the wave and heads back towards the mid lane.
And that's an interesting thing. If we just take a look at the ward coverage here, TSM doing a really good job. Some counter warding going on in the mid lane as well. We're seeing a lot of sentries pop there. And, Vision wins games. And TSM really on the defensive now, making sure the ward coverage is there.
Completely agree. Vision does win games right-hand side. Devios going to take a tower shot there, but you can also see Dagaz is on the way, but Omega won't be found there.
We're going to look at the 3-man rotation to TSM's jungle here. 4-man, really, and we're going to see the big engage here by DoTA, and there's the pillar, and the Niza ult is going to go up on top of Jigs. Jigs in trouble here, and he's going to go down as Lasses makes the snipe.
Such a really good pickup, and it's all about the rotation from Eager. We mentioned about the 3 men coming all the way over, and it really allowed them to put in a really good position there just to pick up an extra kill. Rotations and the wall coverage, like you said, the sentry was key.
And that's for sure. We're going to see Eager continue to maintain map control. If they can maintain the timers on the enemy's buffs. Here's a taunt from Athena in the mid lane.
Taunt in the mid lane, but nothing really comes of it. You're just going to see Dagaz back away from it as well. There was no further follow-up, but it does allow Eager to set themselves up for these mid-Harpies.
Yeah, and they've been able to maintain control over those Harpies since those first rights went to TSM. So that's a big thing as well if we want to take a look at the XP graphs.
Yeah, if we check them in the graphs now, we should be able to see the experience and goal both in favor of Eager at this moment in time. Left-hand side, Polar Bear Mike going to zone out Jigs from him again.
Yeah, and that's going to continue to happen here as Eager does have that advantage in gold and XP. And I say we'll continue to see that happen as map control is just dominated by Eager thus far.
I mean, I don't understand, Ravage. What do you think we should see TSM do here? They're 5 kills down already. Do they just keep weathering the storm and hope for the team fights?
And I think that's exactly what has to happen, because once you get to level 20, that experience difference isn't going to mean a whole lot. The gold difference is the only thing that really starts to matter, and at 3,300 gold, if they can sustain that, we're going to see them be able to weather the storm, because that's not a full item per character.
Well, you say weather the storm, and we're saying about level 20, but it's only 8 minutes in, they're already down 5,000 experience. It's going to be a big climb to get back up in a long game.
It's going to be a big climb, but all 3 towers still up here, which is key. Map objectives are still up.
Map objectives are still up. Gold Fury, though, is warded by Eager at the moment, as right-hand side once again continuing Devios and Omega with those trades backwards and forwards.
Yeah, they've been trading off a lot of damage there, and if you want to look at the player damage, I'm sure we'll see them near the top of the charts there.
Left side.
25. Yeah, it looks like a big engage here on the left side. Zapman going to pick up the kill on Jigs, and another big rotation, 3-man rotation on the left side there, Hindu.
And they just keep putting the pressure on over and over again. Lasses hung around there for quite a while, and now it looks like they might attempt to do the Gold Fury here as well. TSM should know what's up, but can they defend? I mean, they do have an Agni here.
Yeah, they have Agni. If they can get in there to drop the bombs, that's going to be key. But Omega going to zone out Divios and Snoopy here as they're trying to work their ways in, and we're going to see Gold Fury go to the side of Eager.
And really good work from Omega as well. He just sat in the way and zoned them out. They tried to go aggressive, could have used the Ox Swarm just to knock them all up, keep them all busy, and Eager continued to extend their lead.
Yeah, Omega now with that level difference on Divios as well, which is becoming a problem as well.
It's becoming a small problem at the start of this game, but I don't think it's too much just yet.
Yeah, and like we said, if they're able to snowball it, that's what matters.
Big key, and the snowball, like you said, is continuing now. I mean, we're up to about 5,000 gold differential between the two at 10 minutes in. Eager just looking every bit as good as they've ever been, to be honest. And TSM, well, they're not looking like the team we've seen in previous seasons.
No, it looks a little bit rough here from TSM thus far. These 4-man rotations, 3-man rotations, normally in this high-level play, there's ward coverage, there's calls, you know that these rotations are coming and you can prepare for them. But it hasn't been the case for TSM thus far.
Talk about rotations, look at this to the left-hand side. There's 2 more members of Eager now heading down here, potentially to try and steal the purple or look for a pick.
Yeah, they're coming down to maintain control over those jungle buffs. There's the taunt from Athena on Jigs. Jigs found himself caught out again there, and he's going to get caught by Niza with the Niza ult. Is going to go up. Yannick is going to come in, but Jigs in trouble. Here's the Geb shield. That is huge. He's going to escape Agni bombs in.
He will survive, but DoTA poisoned and will fall down in trade. TSM find their first kill of the game, and a good pickup that is, because I don't know how Jigs lived, but he did.
Yeah, Jigs just able to get out of there with the slick Geb shield. He was caught out that time, but he was able to get away. Good rotation from Agni from the mid there.
Well, on the right-hand side, though, Lasses gets a little bit caught out of position here. Lurking in the waters used by Divios already. They're trying to pick off Lasses in the mid lane. Will they find him?
And we're going to see the Aegis pop, but Divios is going to pick that up. And here we go. They're on top of Athena right now. Polar Bear Mike in trouble, but Omega with the rotation. And he's just going to be able to save him with the stun under the tower.
Yeah, Omega's going to get some good poke on Divios, but with Jigs in support there on that Geb, they're not going to be able to continue any more than that. So 2 kills and quickly going back over towards TSM. Very lucky for Eager that the Gold Fury is down.
Yeah, for sure. That was a tough engagement there for Eager, but Gold Fury was down, as you said, and they're not going to be able to get too much off of that other than mid-camp timers.
Well, 6-2 now, and the game's starting to close a little bit. Not in gold, though, because it's still a decent chunk in favour of Eager. And to be fair, it's not too upsetting that it was Lasses who died there. I mean, we said that he's going to be the supportive sort of mage this game round, and he's going to be looking for DoTA and Zapman to really be the forefront of this team.
And that's for sure. I think the big story thus far has been Jungle. Jungle has been a big story, but look at the itemization so far, Hindu. Very close besides actives.
It is close at the moment, but that gold will slowly start to develop. I mean, these items should finish a little bit quicker because of that Gold Fury than, for Eager than TSM. But the big key really is how, like you were saying, junglers, Dagaz isn't actually doing that much in this game. Talk about Dagaz.
Yeah, we're going to see a big taunt there from Athena, and the catch by Niza there with the Agni Bomb to disengage, and that was a safe play there by TSM. Good job to disengage and get out of there.
Yeah, he does get out for now, but it does cost him an ultimate on the side of Jabberlonke. Yonic did have to drop that one down, but he's fine for now, really. The pressure in mid lane from Eager, though, is very, very good here. And you can see Polar Bear Mike waiting off by the side.
Yeah, Polar Bear Mike waiting for the taunt. Here's the dash up, but he's just going to back out.
Yeah, he's going to continue to poke down this tower. It's just above half health right now. You can already see where DoTA is off to. He's looking for an adventure over to that duo lane, but immediately Yonic backing away. No, he's under pressure. They're still camping this mid lane, though.
Yeah, and we're seeing TSM play the turtle game really well here. They're able to maintain their jungle camps while the mid wave is starting to only just push up from Eager. So they're timing things very well here.
Talk about timing, they're now looking like they're heading back over to the left potentially one more time to look at Yonic. But Yonic playing this very, very safe, probably telegraphing though that they may be a ward down. Mid lane.
3-man taunt from Athena, and here's Niza catching out Snoopy with a nice snipe there from Lasses once again.
Yeah, nice little pickup once again just between the two. They're just hanging in this area, if you've noticed. Keeping sentry wards dropped to keep control. Left-hand side.
Yeah, we're seeing the boxing here. Here's the ult from Anher as Athena comes in, and with the taunt on Yannick. Yannick in trouble here right now as that man looks for the shot. The jukes are strong as the poison is dropped, and Yannick probably going to get away here.
He will get away, as does Polar Bear Mike, but round the back, guess who's there? DoTA waiting in the wings. Big shield from Jigs.
Yeah, Jigs there with another clutch shield. Those have been key thus far from making this spin out of control for TSM. That was another great play by Ionic, and nice job by Jigs to get back there and drop the shield.
What an absolutely crazy situation. Is over in the solo lane now. Omega farming very deep there. Going to get flipped by Devios, but tanky enough at this point that he's not really going to be able to be pushed out that quick.
And that's for sure. Omega almost with that solo tower done. That'll be the first tower to drop in this game.
Well, if you look at the whole map at the moment as well, all 3 towers of TSM, those tier 1 towers, all looking at below half HP right now. Just shows the dominance Eager have of this game so far.
And that's for sure. They've just been dwindling away at those towers slowly. And we're going to see the big engage here on Snoopy as the Sash catches out Snoopy, and he's going to drop.
Well, he's not going to drop. He'll survive for the time being. There's still engagement going on as Devios is in there and manages to help Ionic pick up the kill onto DoTA. So one member of TSM, of Eager falls in TSM. They win that one.
Yeah, they do. It'll be interesting to see if they can pull Gold Fury, if they can win this fight here. Here's the sustain from Raw, as we were talking about. Devios able to zone the 3 men from Eager as they set up for some map control.
Yeah, left Harpy's going to be contested here. Lassis and Zapman going to find Devios with a big impale, and that pillar's going to cause some issues, but he does charge play away. Omega on the chase as well. Good bomb from Snoopy over the backside, though, just to deny them going on Devios, and Ionic has arrived, but he's getting poked.
Ionic able to put some pressure there. Devios in there with the whiptail, and he's going to come in and just be able to disengage from that fight as Omega on the run.
Omega is on the run, but Devios charge praise, doesn't find the target, and Zapman's there with Lassis with a great beam over the wall to pick him up. Zapman just destroying people with these in-hands right now.
Yeah, Zapman has been crazy so far with his ability to control the team fight. It's been unreal. As well as, we have to take a look at Lassis as well. Lassis has been in the right position in every single team fight, and that's what it's all about.
You're telling me sustaining this team up and finding some big-time snipes to influence it as well. This Gold Fury should fall again very soon. It doesn't look like TSM can even get here.
Yeah, TSM just completely zoned out by Omega again. Omega doing a great job with that huge level advantage that he does have on the enemy team. The only one able to contest with him right now, level 16 Devios, who was down.
Well, we mentioned right that about 5-6 minutes in this game as well, when we look at it, is that what we need to see from TSM is them weather the storm here and try and get to late game. It doesn't look like we're going to see that now.
We may not, but I mean, the big thing is those global objectives. They are low. The mid tower tier 1 and the left tier 1 are, you know, they're low. Okay, but they're still up, and that's a big thing at this point in the game. If they continue to maintain their tier 1 control, that gives them some jungle control as well.
Well, for me though, it's like the opposite effect. Is Eager's got 1,000 gold just waiting for them on the map there, just to be taken at a moment's notice. And how can TSM defend such a weakened tower?
It's going to be tough for them. I mean, they do have a lot of CC on their side with the Agni bombs and the Sobek. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a battle for them.
Going to have to look for Degas to try and make something happen. So far, he's only found that first kill of the game for TSM, which hasn't really come much more since then. He's been playing this very passive, and it's just not working out.
Yeah, it's not working out. He had a couple aggressive plays early, but it just hasn't worked out. We're going to see the 4-man rotation, possibly on Devios here.
Well, his Devios is going to be very hard to pick up, though. That's a big key for it. They're going to force out Ionic's ultimate, though. Maybe that was Zapman forcing that one over on the other side of the map, as Polar Bear might go aggressive with the taunt and does force the shield from Jigs.
And we're seeing some action in the left lane as well while this engagement is going on. Zapman poking out Ionic in the dual lane.
And that should be a free tier 1 tower now over here. Ionic had to go back to base. Nobody's here to defend it. This one's going to drop down for Eager yet again. As I was saying, it's hard to defend these towers.
And we're likely to see tier 1 go down in mid as well. So we're going to start to see that map control dwindle out of control. But we're going to see it Devios with the teleport to secure the mid tower, at least for now. Yeah,
really good teleporting from Devios there. Just abusing the situation to make sure they hold that one firm. If they lose that mid tower, they're going to lose so much presence on this map at the moment. Especially when they're down in gold. They can't really afford the wards, but Devios aggressed them.
Yeah, Sash on top of Devios, but he was able to get the toss on DoTA. We're going to see Polar Bear Mike in with the double taunt. And a little bit of engage there, a little bit of poke from Raw.
A little bit of poke from Raw, but it was good poke as the Harpies fall down too. Devios under pressure, too far forward in his own.
Omega picking up a kill on the Phoenix back there, but here's last in double taunt from Athena. Ionic able to pick up DoTA. Zatman a little bit of trouble, but he is putting the attacks down on Devios. There's a big jump there.
Zapman with a big hype double kill there onto the Goss. Finding it. He had no HP, but the impale was just so big.
Yeah, let's look at Omega here with the cudgel, and that is going to pick up Jigs as well. That is a bad engage there for TSM as the Tiger comes out. Ionic trying to jump away. That team fight is not what TSM needed right now.
It's not. I mean, the Gold Fury is still down, though, but he's going to allow Eager to put more pressure onto this mid lane. The tier 1 tower will fall, and there's a full minion wave there. Ravage, they may look for a tier 2.
They may be able to get the tier 2 here. There is no ability for them to pressure them off. This is Ionic who's going to have to defend tier 2 in the dual lane.
It's such a rough ass now for TSM to get their way back into this. Tier 2 falling, that's going to be more additional gold in the coffers of Eager. Now they should be able to base and spend this money.
We're past the point of no return right now. Once you get to that 10k mark, it is so hard to come back because you're looking at a full item and a half almost on every player.
An ally has left the game.
Okay.
Ravage, at the beginning of this competition, I made a promise that if people were breathing into their mic or smacking their lips or do anything like that, I was going to buzz them. That was extremely hard to listen to. And if that was a live broadcast with one of our commentators, our viewership would have been plummeted into the ground. If you couple that with the fact that you qualified half your statements, said and there a whole bunch of times, and didn't know Ionic's name, kept calling him Ionic, who is one of the, if not the highest rated support player from Season 1, aside from Jeff Hindla, there was just no contest there. I tried to give it long. I was hoping things were going to clear up, but that was not acceptable. And
okay,
you got buzzed, man. I'm very sorry.
Okay, yeah, sorry I didn't know that there was breathing in the mic. My apologies.
If I were you, I would have had Twitch or Twitter or something open because the complaints were everywhere. And you know what's funny is I didn't hear it at first, and then I checked Twitter, and someone's like, this noise is driving me crazy because the other commentators will tell you my sound is on nothing. I have my sound all the way down. Every other commentator has it really high. Could you hear it?
I could hear it. I could hear it all the way through.
I'm surprised you didn't say anything.
I was going to let it go.
Because then I turned my volume up to like an acceptable volume where normal people listen to. You know, one of the biggest complaints about my stream is that my volume is always really low. Because in my headset, I have everything all the way down. And as soon as I put it to a normal volume, like I had it at 1. As soon as I turned it to 3, it was like, it was skin crawly.
With some of what DM said is completely true, though. Other than that, I mean, during the broadcast, you qualified a lot of your statements most of the time. And then you also have, it's a small thing, but it's things that you should correct going into next time, is you every time you have this ability to pick up what another caster's saying and then repeat it yourself, which is a bit of an issue, but even I struggle with this sometimes. But I could hear you repeating what I just said, almost word for word sometimes, where you could have sat back a little bit and thought about it, or more active listening is the key that I'm looking for there. I don't think it was a be-all and end-all, but if DMs buzz you, DMs buzz you.
Honestly, the things that happened bad during the commentary could have been fixed. It was something that we would have allowed the voters to do, but it was that plus the mic problems that were too much for me to deal with. And with that, man, we got to buzz you. I hope everyone out there, though, saw that commentary for what it actually was. It was actually pretty decent commentary. There was amateur mistakes that can be fixed over time, and we expect to see you back soon.
Ravage, it was a pleasure to cast with you. Do you have any shout-outs before we let you go?
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right.
Take it easy. He was Canadian all the way then. He said sorry.
I mean, I told him yesterday I did not expect
honestly, buddy, that was brutal. I'm going to be honest. I felt that was brutal. Yeah, I know you said it, but I personally think that was brutal.
It got to a point where I couldn't listen to it anymore. And if we were at Worlds or we were at an Xbox competition and he was doing commentary live, and if those issues were not with the mic and it was inherent to his actual casting.
It was a breathing issue that he had there. I could hear it during it because he was inhaling, going
right
before he casted to make sure he had the air in his lungs to do it. Which casters do.
It's actually a pretty amateur mistake. When you're casting, you have to be breathing the whole time. Whenever you hear someone go, right, it's distracting. It forces you to lose immersion. And that by itself wasn't a big deal. The qualifying by itself wasn't a big deal. The fact that he kept saying there and after or before every sentence wasn't a big deal. Even the lip smacking, which drove me nuts, wasn't a big deal. It was the straws that built up, and eventually the camel's back broke, and I had to buzz him. I like the guy. I think he's really great, and I think for the
I'm in
Xbox
shock.
scene,
honestly, I'm really in shock, and I'm not even denying it. I'm like, wow.
I think because you were immersed in the cast,
I
you
wasn't
might
in
not
the
have
cast.
noticed it.
I was in the cast, and to be fair, sometimes when you cast with somebody as well, this is why there's generally 2 of us on here, is because sometimes when you're involved in the cast, you're so focused on the cast that all I could hear was the positives for the most part. There was 1 or 2 things niggling at me, like I mentioned, where I'm like, you repeated yourself a little bit too much, you stole lines from me, which I struggle with. And they're the things that you think of, and you're like, after the cast, I'm going to mention it to him. But so far, the cast seems okay.
It was. Like
but
I said,
having the other person
it was a decent
important.
cast, but there were too many glaring issues. It was the death by 1,000 strokes.
Death by 1,000 strokes. And with that, a 33% record of 1 person voted off per show so far continues.
There's
still 2 more to go, though.
We have 2 more people left. The coefficient might go up. Yeah, wait.
Has it been the first person every time?
No, Grizzly was second.
Grizzly was second.
He said it was every time it was first.
Somebody told us it was every time it was the first person, but I don't think...
I think Grizzly might have been second.
Maybe we're wrong.
Maybe
you guys at home can tell us whether or not. Is it been the first person every time? Because if that's...
Electro was first.
You don't want to go first next week. I'll tell you that much,
Game
then, if
Rebel
that's the
was
case.
first. I don't remember where Grizzly was.
Remember, after the end of the show, we've still got two more casters to go on the show this week, and then we will open the live voting where you guys at home will decide 2 of the 4 that will move on to the next phase.
Next up is going to be Mako. Again, primarily Xbox. But when you're doing, and this is one of the reasons that I buzzed, Ravage, is he called him Ionic. You might be only Xbox, but as a commentator in the scene, it is your job to know the superstar's name. Ionic is a superstar.
I mean, with the cast as well, if you notice, some of the casts have been from random rank play, and we give some lenience to them if you don't know.
If you can't pronounce Mufflefluffin's name, that's fine.
So, a name you've never seen before, but if he's somebody in the Pro League that we cast on a regular basis and have streams of, then we're not going to be as lenient with things like that.
It would have been unfair of me not to buzz him for Ionic's name if I buzzed Grizzly for saying Repicos incorrectly.
Fair point. But yep. Up next, we will be seeing Mako, and let's bring Mako live on the line with us. Mako, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm not too bad at all.
Y'all. That's not a real word.
Where are you from?
That's a real word down
That's
here.
Southern. That's Southern. I know Southern.
Ah, see? Hindu's got it.
I know Southern.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Do you know where Texas is?
Yes, sir. It's on the West Coast.
Are you serious? Are you being
Southwest.
serious?
Southwest.
Are you being serious?
It's Southwest, right?
Right the fuck.
South.
Southwest. If you look at the map, it's south.
Right on the border with Mexico.
See,
right smack dab in the middle. Middle south.
Say West Coast.
Southwest.
That's fantastic. What's up, Mako? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in Austin, Texas. I'm a data analyst, and I'm really into video games.
Awesome. What kind of cast do you think you're going to be then, Mako? Are you going to be the chair one guy with the hype, or are you going to be the analytical guy, or a mixture of the two?
Probably a mix of the two, maybe leaning a little more towards the play-by-play, just because, I'm a big enough guy to admit that I'm probably, as a relatively new player, don't have that deep level of analysis, available yet.
Okay. But when you talk about the play-by-play aspects, you're going to know all the ability names for the most part and be able to talk about what the abilities do.
I feel pretty comfortable with that kind of stuff.
Cool. That's where I started too. Like I had no knowledge of this game, and I came in just knowing ability names and what they did. So you can definitely make it by just knowing those things. If
I saw him play the other day. He still doesn't know what they do.
Well, at least I didn't die and learn how many times? 26, 27?
It was like, I just thought you meant the other day. It was like 4.
The other game as well.
Really quick.
Right. Won't take long, Mako. You're going to be casting with DM after this very short break, and we'll be back with you. Now, once again, you're with me this time. You just saw this button press, so we don't have to go over it too much, but it is the red button. If we push this button, the cast ends, and the person is kicked off the show. As we just saw with Ravage, he was removed for X, Y, and Z reasons. And we've also seen 3 other casters on this show removed for relatively different reasons as well. If we do press that, you'll be off the show and you won't move on to the voting stage. If they can manage to complete the broadcast, however, we will move them onto the voting area, which will begin at the end of the show and end on Sunday. You'll have the opportunity to vote for who you want to see and move on to the next round. Top 2 voted members will move on, as well as myself and DM will choose 1 extra member each to move on to the final 4. Now, what else have we got really to talk about at this stage of the game? Not that much. We've seen most of the casters come up and try different things, and this guy's an Xbox guy though, so there's a bit of a difference here.
Yeah. What's I think is really important is we have 2 more casts from Phase 1. Now, Phase 1 is cast with a professional. You will be joined by either myself or Hindu Man, and even if there's some mistakes there, we can carry you. Right, we've done it a lot, not just for this competition, but with, whether we had analysts or pro players come on, we understand what to do to continue the narrative, make things strong, and how to lead you into the conversation. It's important that our commentators, are getting kind of like, maybe not carried, but, have their hand held.
We hold hands for a little while in these broadcasts as well. You've probably heard it in some of the early ones. We held hands for the first few minutes of the game, and then we start to just drift that hand away and see whether you come back.
Right, exactly. But after these last 2 people, we're going into Phase 2, which is what I like to call the challenge phase.
Oh, the challenges. Well, this is just the basics, right? This is the basics.
This is super basic.
Just cast.
This is just show us that you have talent.
Next week, we're going to throw something else at them. And then if they get through that week, we're going to throw even more at them. And these are all the things that we do on a daily basis, basically when we do a live broadcast, from little things like dealing with guys around the office all the way through to technical issues, which we don't get that many of.
We might, though. All right, so Mako's coming up next. Now, again, primarily Xbox, which means he is going to be generally unfamiliar with the players from North America and Europe from the PC scene if he doesn't follow esports a lot. But I'm still holding him, and as should Hindu, holding him to a standard of understanding the scene around him. He said he doesn't really know a ton about the game to the point where he could be an analyst. But at that point, he should know how to pronounce the god names, what the moves do.
As somebody who came from this exact sort of position of not knowing the game, I learned all the ability names first, played every god to learn the names of the abilities and what they did. The analysis side, though, we'll see.
Well,
you should be watching it all the time and learn as much as possible.
All right, we're in the game here. It's going to be me and my man Mako. Mako, lead us in.
All right, well, it looks like we're in for a treat here as we have the EU top dogs showing down here. It's Epsilon Esports versus Fnatic. And Epsilon is undefeated so far, the EU. Fnatic, I believe, in third place. So this should be a pretty good showing.
All right, so starting off here, what are we looking for? I mean, I see Adapting has not gone into red pot as Circuit, which means he's going to have a hard time getting around the jungle very quickly. But, I mean, it is Adapting, right? This is the guy that you look at to be able to do everything right.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like with that boot start, he is looking for just an early rotation and possibly playing to Circuit's strength here and looking to really excel in the mid-game, not necessarily looking for those early game ganks.
All right, so we're almost to minion spawn. It doesn't seem like either team is gesturing towards an invade. They're both going to try to play this safe, which honestly I think is in favor of Epsilon. Circuit at level 1 isn't going to be as powerful as Hunbots is, considering that Hunbots has that 30% chance to just destroy someone with an early crit.
Yeah, his early crit chance is pretty powerful, and I'm actually curious to see both Hunbots and Circuit usually have similar builds here as being ability-based assassins. I'm curious to see if they choose to go into Malice now instead of that Deathbringer start, ever since the Deathbringer nerf going from 50% extra damage to 40%.
That's true.
And supposedly the Malice is better on paper.
Well, Malice was actually better beforehand. It's a 4% difference in damage, but you have to remember that Malice will also take time to tick, and if you hit Malice twice, it doesn't stack, it just refreshes, which means if there's multiple crits, it could wind up being a detriment. It's a completely RNG-based item that is only going to allow you to do more damage in certain situations, so it's possible. I personally still think Deathbringer is the better idea, but we'll see what Adapting does. Obviously, he's the pro.
Right, Q after him, but it does look like Epsilon is going to take the right mid Heartbeat camps while Fnatic takes up the left. Going to be no early game fight. Both teams content to just split those evenly. One going to right, one going to left. I do want to talk about this Maniac's pick here on the solo Beck coming out here. Usually, I think we don't really see the Sobek pick unless the enemy team has a lot of healers, against the Hell or the Afro or even the Raw mid. So that Sickening Strike obviously being a big part of the anti-heal, especially post-weakening nerf. So what decision do you think went into making this Sobek pick?
I feel like this is comfort to me. I mean, he's just trying to sit in this lane and farm up safely against Demi's Wukong, and almost surprising to me that Wukong made it through the picks and bans with how powerful he is with Bluestone. You can see already Demi forcing him back. Sobek took a lot of damage there. He actually forced himself to buy a lot of potions, but what I like is the Mark of the Vanguard. The Mark of the Vanguard is going to reduce all damage by 5, and with how heavily he's going to mitigate the damage coming out from Bluestone, Bluestone's going to be basically tickling him at this point. You're looking for single-digit damage.
Right, and actually the Mark of the Vanguard being picked up by both Amir and Ares as well, and I really like this pickup on Badja here. Facing off against an Ares. The Mark of the Vanguard, obviously Ares damage is going to be a lot of low tick damage, so Mark of the Vanguard with that 5 flat damage reduction is going to be a pretty significant percentage of damage overall instead of, Ares ticking away for 15, 15, 15 or 20, 20, 20. Reducing that by just 5 damage is going to be nearly a 20% damage reduction overall.
So you'll note Hunbots already has his boots online. Warrior Tabby is finished, so that's a massive power spike, although he is not level 5. As soon as he gets it, though, with those boots, I'm expecting big-time rush into mid. Force Yaman to use the ult immediately, or maybe even go to duo. Maybe try to get Emilito to fall early and stop.
It does look like that he's behind on levels a little bit here, though. He still doesn't have his Fear No Evil up. So the teamfight ultimate being very strong, obviously, but until he gets that up, not going to be able to force any plays out of that.
All right, so 3 minutes in, we're going to start seeing respawns of camps pretty soon. Blue buff a little bit late. Actually, no, about 7 more seconds, we should see that blue start going into that final tick. You'll see the top side actually got done really, really fast. It's almost spawned already, so I'm expecting that we're going to see a rotation over very quickly from adapting, but he's choosing to go back to the base. He has his blink online. It looks like he has his boots finished as well.
The blink circuit, kind of the bread and butter here. Even post-nerf, blink being picked up very quickly. In fact, I think in Weekend's video, specifically addressing the blink nerf, he mentioned, it doesn't really affect that much. You just have to invest a little bit more early game gold into it to kind of max it out by about the 10-minute mark.
This is post-nerf, correct?
Correct.
This is the post-nerf blink. So
this is the post-nerf blink.
The cooldown has been nerfed pretty heavily, which means he has to choose a little bit more wisely his fights, whereas Hunboss, who uses blink very well, is so far avoided it. Going to be relying on his teleport from the Sacred Monkey Toss.
In the dual lane here, as adapting moves the ult up in air, buy himself a little bit of time here. The pillar try to catch him off. Big space and time. Looks like Zeros and Captain Tuig may be rotating over, but no, Realzy is going to be able to get out of that scot-free by himself. The ult buying himself enough time. Epsilon looking like they didn't really want to advance on that.
Even with the Nuwa ult, they had, maybe not a 4v2, engagement, but still with the Nuwa ult helping, it's technically a 4v2 rush on the left lane.
Right.
They get nothing out of it. Somehow Fnatic able to escape that. Usually Epsilon's first blood ratio is very high. I'm surprised to see that Fnatic was able to deter that one. Maybe they
but
expected
Zyra's caught out here over in the mid lane. Big Fear No Evil coming out. The Deathbane's going to connect.
He's the on.
Portal away, but the last breath damage up.
I absolutely love
adapting.
that. I mean, the way that adapting kicked him away from his own portal to make sure that he got that extra hit off. I mean, it was the passive from Circuit that killed him, right?
Right, yeah, definitely. The poison damage, that extra % health damage from the basic attack after applying all the poison damage. Just enough for the dot damage to take him through. I mean, he was able to get out with that portal, but just because of that little bit of dot damage.
I mean, it's not just the first blood either. They get first blood, they get beads, they got his ult. Like, that was the whole package.
Yeah, the whole package. Well, his ult was expended from that dual lane as adapting went over to try and pick off Realzy.
All right, so Real's over in the left lane still. He's grouped up with Badger. Now, we're not seeing any rotations. I actually expected Badger to start rotating down for this red buff.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't yet, but Zeros with the portal should be able to get there in time. It looks like Captain Twig is making a move for it now as they do their back harpies and the red buff. So just a little behind schedule, but they are still going to be able to pick it up.
Right side camps have been completely taken as well. Only the back camps remain. Even the mids have been taken. Both speeds about the same time as well. You see both those circles very close to empty, if not empty. But it's adapting, right? We talked about this. He got his first blood. The first blood ratio for Epsilon is massive. And so far, he's gotten Circuit started the way that he needs to. The blink cooldown's almost up. I'm expecting within 30 seconds that we're going to see this kind of rush happen again. And honestly, I don't see why they wouldn't go for Janus.
Yeah, Janus, a great target. He's one of the heaviest carries on Fnatic's team, besides Rom, obviously, coming out there from Reels. In fact, the team composition-wise, it looks like Fnatic is looking to play this just for the late game here. They have, I would say, more carries on their side between the Hunbats, the Giannis, and the Rom.
Oh, beautiful. Gets the Cobra's Kiss. Actually winds up hitting both of them there, forcing them to fight, but he walks away from it, which is probably not a bad idea, considering the Fear No Evil was available. They could have turned on him quickly, or at least forced his beads.
Yeah, looking for just a little win. Adapting, able to apply lots of pressure or potential pressure, just showing his lane presence, even if he's not following up on that Cobra's Kiss. He's putting them on their back foot.
Mako, I'm sorry, I've had to budge you. I'm sorry. You have this.
Right.
Here's the issue.
Were you hearing that? Or was that my?
No, I was hearing it too. That was the problem. It was.
What's that?
The whole because your microphone was just giving feedback the whole time.
It was cutting out.
There was airing. There was also cutting out.
I thought
which
it was my
issue.
headset.
No, he had all the issues with his microphone, and I would have probably let it go if you not just buzzed someone for similar issues. I couldn't, within the right, not be a hypocrite. I'm like, well, if we're gonna buzz that guy, we've got to buzz Mako too.
Oh man,
That's
I mean the cast was actually going pretty well. You had a lot more knowledge than I was expecting. But what was happening is you were talking about this volume, and then it would just sound like this volume, and I really couldn't hear it.
And then it get really loud again, and then you get the air of your keyboard being tapped as well as the background noise there too. And nobody could listen to it. That was the problem. I think the fans at home were like, just buzz him because you're going to have to.
And honestly, I would agree. I mean, one of the big things for this competition is we look for community casters, people who are going to be able to cast tournaments, for Xbox at home and, things like that. We want to really show our talent. And if your microphone wasn't ready for a competition that could earn you a spot to go to Worlds, I can't imagine that you're going to be ready to do community stuff either. So I'm going to have to agree.
Yeah.
But honestly, the talent was there. Like, what a shame.
It was Mako, and that's
Alright.
the
Well, I
thing.
appreciate that.
Have you got traffic in the background as well? You're by a window.
No, the fan is on, but I mean, it's strange. I actually tested this several times beforehand, and it wasn't big enough.
When you listen back to this recording, you'll hear
Right.
exactly what we hear and understand why we
Okay.
had to budget this. But do you live near a main road or anything? Like,
No, I'm pretty tucked away in a subdivision.
did you have aeroplanes overhead or a helicopter?
Not that I heard.
Shame.
Okay, you'll hear back.
It
You'll
might
hear
have
back
been the
this.
fan.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a
I'll
fan,
hear it on
but
playback.
listen back and you'll definitely understand why we've had to budget. Mako, I want you to keep
Okay.
working at this though, especially for Xbox. It's very important. Good luck, buddy. Best of luck to you.
So, week 3 has been brutal. I
This
mean, there's
was not what I
no other way to put it. I mean, both games, we've had less than 30 minutes game time so far.
Week 4, DM.
Week 4. What week is
4.
it?
This is
week
week 4.
4? What did
This
I
is
say?
week 4.
Week
You
3?
said week 3.
Week 3 was brutal too, man.
It was, but it wasn't 2 down and 2 contestants.
That's fair. One
This list is getting slim. We're
one
putting,
remains.
look at those lighted up pictures. There's only 4 of them going through. Well, 4 of them are going through, which is a nice
and how many,
percentage right
there's
now.
only 7 left?
Well, and that's before Lero casts. They could be down to 6.
That's true.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be mean to Lero here, but hey, you said yourself if she's not going to sushi, you get a buzzer.
I think this is probably really exciting for people like Husey, who are like, I think I did good. I know I didn't do my
underperformed.
best.
Yeah.
Right?
So for some for the
But now there's
underperformed
only
LB,
like
thought to themselves, hey,
7 people left.
there's some of these other guys are really good. Well,
When we started this, we didn't think we were going to buzz anybody.
yeah, we started this. I was like, this could be hard to buzz anyone. Now look at us.
It's really not that hard. You just
Now look, it's great.
You just hit the button.
Slam it and it's great. And they go away.
Our final cast
No one
today
can
is
do that
going
with
to be
him.
from Lyral, one of our 2 female contestants. I think her understanding of the game is high. Her ability to cast is decent. I think her biggest weakness right now is that she has that accent that you
Now
don't have.
this is my issue, and this is the problem that I'm going to see for Laryl now, and I'll explain it now. Is she has an accent that is very northern. I am northern too, from England. However, hers is on the border of Scotland, pretty much, and because of that, a lot of people, if she doesn't focus on her voice and the way she controls her pitch, she may lose people in the audience because they won't be able to follow what she says, and I struggle with that too.
It's a big deal. You know, I think Hindu Man got kind of a lucky dice roll with having the accent that he has. Same thing for Husey. It's just lucky. Where you were born, you sound awesome, right? It's just part of your casting. It's literally a talent. Talent is something that you're given that you have to work on, but it's still something that you're born with. Like, my accent is terrible, and I have to work on it a lot. It's one of the things in my mind all the time is diction, alliteration, and the way that my voice sounds. With that, Lyral, I've heard her talk a lot, and in a normal speaking voice, it's fine. But if she casts and she loses control and understanding of what she's supposed to sound like, it could be a bust.
It's going to be that whole. For me, it's the aura of making sure it stays professional, but you're relaxed enough. If she gets too relaxed, is when you guys might lose her. That's my concern. Is that she finds herself in that zone where she's like, "Okay, I'm chill."
And please,
She could lose it.
tweet #SmiteCast. Tell
All
us
the
what
time.
you think of the cast.
Ravage.
Right? That's really
Tell us what you think
important.
about Ravage. Tell us what you think about Mako. If you thought we were wrong, say so, because it's not, necessarily the be all and end all of never seeing them again. We might look at them further down the line.
That's true. But Lyral is the main focus here. I want to hear what you guys think, and I think we got her on the line.
Lyra, my dear, how are you doing?
Hi!
Hi. What are you wearing? What
Look,
the hell is
it's
that?
not a bow tie, so you can't buzz me for this,
Oh.
because it's not a bow tie.
She's smart.
It even says not a bow tie.
What in the actual
So what is it
hell
then? Is it a bone?
are you wearing?
It's a bone.
A Hindu man told me, right, because when I did the mic and camera test, production told me that I should wear this, and I was like, alright, I will. So I tweeted it, and Hindu man said he would buzz me, but he said he wouldn't buzz me if I had the bow tie. But then he said he would buzz people for wearing a bow tie, so this is a bow tie. It is not a bow tie.
So it's a bow tie, but not a bow tie. You see your accent? I love your accent, by the way. I love that accent.
She sounds like
saying.
That's the first time I've heard that.
what's her name from Game of Thrones?
Someone from
Ygritte.
Game of Thrones.
Ygritte.
Oh wait, I've
Ygritte.
still not watched
Little
Game
bit.
of Thrones. I'm sorry.
She's north of the wall.
Wait, you've never watched Game of Thrones?
Lyral, say
No, I've read the book.
Lyral, say you know nothing, Jon Snow.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's not bad. I
She's-
think if she knew the context, she
She's
would've
just not
killed that.
ginger though. She used to be blue. She's not anymore.
Where's the blue hair?
I got a new job and they won't let me have blue hair.
What?
So
What kind of job is that?
yeah, It's just in a shop, but it's like it's seen as unprofessional.
No,
so
it is. I mean,
It is in
I don't
the
want to
UK,
buy
Yeah.
things
for the most part.
people.
Lyral, what kind of caster do you think you are? Are you the hype, exciting one, or are we the analytical, thoughtful one?
always the hype. Always the hype.
You're from the north. That's what we're designed for. I understand that.
Be
I feel it.
careful about
Yeah.
that mic clipping.
What clipping?
The mic clipping?
Oh,
It's okay.
apparently that's
it's okay.
us?
That's our
Oh.
end. Don't worry. Your mic
Interesting.
seems fine for the
okay.
time being. Okay, so we're going to be going into game with you very, very soon. Tell us a bit about yourself, though, and so the fans at home know who you are and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Lyral, who's not actually called Lyral. Spoilers! Spoilers! If you don't like spoilers, then pretend you didn't listen to that last bit. I don't know.
Hold on. You said my name's Lyral, but it's not really Lyral. Explain.
Yeah, I'm not actually called Lyral in real life.
But I'm called Hindu Man in real life.
You see, now Hindu Man, funny story. I was playing WoW the other day, and there's this rogue, and so I was just wandering around. I saw this rogue that was actually called Hindu Man, but like, as in like behind you, man. And I was like, wait a second.
Was it you?
Nah. Not played Warcraft in years. I'm not allowed to
You
anymore.
called it.
No.
What do you mean you're not allowed to?
I just wouldn't.
What is it?
I
Mel
lose my life.
copying Kelly?
Lyral, hold the line for me, and we will be live casting myself and you. It's going to be an all-English cast. How exciting. You get to be the hype, and I'll just be the one that fills in the blanks like DM always does.
What the hell does that mean? We've hit it twice today so far, and it's possible we'll hit it again. This delightful little red button indicates instant ejection from the show. 5 people have fallen victim so far to its rather crimson glory. It's empowering to press it. It is. At the same time, though, what can you do? With that, we should be getting into the game in just a minute here. Our final competitor is going to be Lyral. Now, Lyral focuses, she said, on more hype casting, leading, doing play-by-play, which means we'll see Hindu Man focusing more on the analytical styles.
How'd you do that?
I'm sorry?
What do you do when you do that? The analytical.
What do you mean?
What do you do when you analyze?
You just look at items and hope that what you're saying is relevant in the next 30
And
seconds?
just compare it to what you do in real life, in your games.
No. In
all
my
the
games,
time.
I just pick Aphrodite, and I hope I don't get camped by 4 people the whole time, which is usually
Which is every
what
game.
happens.
Which is every game,
I
pretty
just
much.
I get bots on my team, man. They're all bots.
Please take into account as well that after Lyral has casted, what you will see is go over to esports.smitegame.com and the voting will be open.
That's
It'll be
right.
Open until Sunday at midnight.
That's right. As soon as you go to esports.smitegame.com, the first thing you're going to see is a giant banner that says, "So you think you can cast?" By clicking that, it will lead you to a post which will allow you to vote for one of our 7,
Remaining.
possibly 6 remaining people. The top 2 that you guys choose at home will move on to the challenge phase.
And then in the challenge phase, you'll see them all come back next week. We'll do live for you the voting and let you know who goes on to the live show on Wednesday and who goes home. Pretty much, that's a good way it's going to be.
It should be very interesting.
But the funny thing is, me and you have got to sit back after Sunday's voting and work out which 2 we're going to put through.
That's true.
And that's where I'm like, I don't know right now who.
We do that in 2
Because I don't know what the community's going to choose, right?
You can come over for 12-hour
I
Mondays.
don't want to come over to your house.
I mean, we were going to do the whole show at my house.
Yeah, but now I don't have to.
That's fair.
That's why I got production on board. I was like, do I have to go to DM's place and chill there?
All right, guys,
nice
we're going to
thing
be
of the house
jumping
is
into our
Kelsey.
final cast of Phase 1. It's going to be Hindu Man and Lyral. Lyral, take it away.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I am here live with Lyral. Lyral, take us into the game.
Hi. Right. Here we have Les Myrmidons versus Titan. 2 EU teams. 2 of my favorite EU teams, actually.
Oh, really?
So, starting out, yeah.
So you like the French?
Well, you see, it's more leaning towards Titan. I rooted for them in Season 1.
You just said they were your favourite teams, and now you're changing your mind and
Yeah,
picking one over
but-
the other. You can't have favourites as a caster. You know that, right? Okay, go on.
Starting off, we have Jermaine as the hunter, Le Feles as Bastet in the jungle. We have Tins as Poseidon in the mid lane, Le Mogao as Hades in the solo lane, and Dardez as Bacchus as the Guardian.
And over on the
And
other
on
side of the
Titan's
map,
side-
we're going to see Titan. Ataraxia will be playing solo lane as Cyrus, Repicas in the jungle as Thor, Pretty Prime in the mid lane as Isis, Kanye Life playing support, Sobek alongside good old, oh my god, I am a bird, Neath.
Well, speaking of the dual lane, we have a ward put out by Titan here to spot any rotations coming in from Limmeradons. Looks like they're not going to do any rotations here, though.
It's more of an early ward there just to keep an eye on those mid-harpies, just in case Myrmidons try anything sneaky at the start. Maybe start mid-harpies and then go aggressive for that purple buff invade, or just throw off what's going to happen to the mid-harpies when the junglers finally rotate.
Yeah, there's not really much aggression going on at the minute. Pretty standard starts for both teams.
We do see a rotation already coming out from Repicast as well, straight to this lane, a little bit further ahead than Fails in the jungle. But Fails and Repi will meet each other at the moment on that right side, but left, we've got a big fight going on.
Ooh, big fight. Bacchus jumps in. Jermaine's taking a lot of damage here. DoTA seems to be body blocking very well. The lane pressure currently going in the way of Titan.
Yeah, body blocks were pretty good there. The mid lane, though, pressure once more from Repicast and Pretty Prime. In that left lane, as you were saying, Jermaine took a lot of poke, and if it wasn't for DoTA just tanking off some of those shots, I think we could have seen Jermaine in a lot more trouble, but mid lane, still more aggression.
Or spin to win on a Bastet takes away a good part of her health, but not doing much else there. Mid camps are still free. No one's gone for them yet.
Really big key, both those mid camps still being up at the moment. It's very surprising. I think that's because it's, a Thor and a Bastet. Both of those do have kill potential on one another, and it could cause some issues, but you can see Titan have decided to elect for the right ones right now.
And it looks like that Limmeradons is also going for the left mid camps.
Yeah, they should be able to secure these pretty
Titan's
quickly.
looking at this.
Oh, maybe you're right.
They've had to reset this. The Spirit Ball misses though, but the wall connects and Rebecca takes first blood onto Poseidon.
Yeah, Tins does fall down there, and that's not a good position for him to be in right now. Dropping down at level 3 as a Poseidon, you don't really want to fall behind because you're really looking for those big burst damages on Krakens, and with that, the Harpies didn't even down the left either, Leroy, and that just means Titan are going to get an even bigger lead.
And with the lane pressure that they had in duo, it meant that Kanye Life could rotate in for that kill. Didn't get the assist though. I thought he was in range of that.
No, he didn't manage to get there in time, unfortunately, but left-hand side, DoTA's under pressure. But look in the jungle once more, the jungler in mid looking for aggression onto the Myrmidons.
Looks like they're going to get these back camps, but is this going to be another kill? Isis was 5 and picks up Tins yet again.
Yeah, quick Spirit Ball.
0-2 for Poseidon.
Quick Spirit Ball, wall combo into the circle of protection and deleted once more. He's still only level 4 as well. Goes back, picks up beads, but it's going to be a rough situation now for that mid laner.
Yeah, Isis so far ahead in gold now. Not really sure what he's going to do here.
Well, the main
Kraken's probably not a guaranteed kill anymore.
The main thing we've got to see out of Tins now, in my opinion, is that he's going to play this very, very safe. Just farm up, potentially even go for a very supportive build on this Poseidon. He's not going to find kills with his Krakens anymore at this stage, especially with the lead he's falling behind on. Maybe look for Gem of Isolation, some more sustain, and try to become some sort of supportive mid laner that can cause a big impact for his team.
Speaking of Titan just sitting in their jungle, they just don't have a care. You think you're safe in your jungle, but that's Thor. You're never safe from Thor.
You say that. Fails on the left-hand side, though, did put some poke pressure onto that Titan dual lane, forcing Kanye back on low health, but he should be okay for now. He probably might not want to stick around as long as he is doing in this lane, though. He needs to go back soon and make sure he heals himself up.
The Rama ults come back up, so if he takes too much more damage, Rama can just ult to secure that.
It is quite a potential option for him at the moment, but you can see he's gone back to base now as Kanye, so he should be fine alongside Oh My God, I'm a Bird. But already good signs for Titan this game. They've had a good start to the game, and the most important thing is both their mid and jungler are way ahead right now.
Yeah, putting one character behind, it's kind of redeemable. You can get that back. But having 2 characters behind by this much, it starts to become a bit of a problem. Yeah, you can snowball off this hard.
Well, we can see that Fails is trying to make something happen, though. He ganked the duo lane to try and put pressure there. Solo lane is not really the greatest option up against Atarax's Osiris here. You can see Atarax is showing off with
Atarax is looking to invade this. Is he?
He put some pressure on. He was trying to just keep Mogao zoned out, and I actually think Mogao may have missed some experience there. I'm not 100% certain if he got it through the wall or not there, but look where Repicat is positioned right now, Lyril.
Yeah, it looks like he could go on this. He's got an ultimate. But Hades has still got a dash.
Does have his ult, but
he
gets away. But look at this invade now. Prime's going to swing around from the mid lane to help support with this speed buff, and there's not anything Myrmidons can do. They're just, but because the jungler and the mid laner are behind, it's just like free reign for Titan this.
Yeah, this is going to be hard to come back from. But it's, at the minute, they can still come back from this.
They can still come back, but it's going to be a long slog already. I mean, Tin's level 6 now, still a level behind on Pretty Prime, and they've lost the right-hand Harpies, and the left ones have spawned, and I don't think there's a lot they can do to stop these.
Yeah, Isis having full boots as well. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, with the extra
So
penetration.
Hindu, what are your favorite kind of boots?
My favorite kind of boots? Boots that are made
Yeah.
for walking. Or in the
Is
game
that
known as
just what they
Talaria
do?
boots, because I play support.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're my favorite boots. Talaria boots are very, very good for the most part, at least on the support role. But don't forget, the next patch coming out, we will see the Shoes of the Magi switch with Shoes of Focus in terms of mana. We'll see Shoes of Focus get some extra mana on them. And the Magi as well, they're only going to have penetration now, so they might not be as useful.
That early pen is still very good, though. Even without the mana.
It is going to be very good without the mana, but it's a big swing in terms of damage potential that comes out of those items too. We'll find out though when that patch hits how impactful that'll make on the builds, because at the moment we mainly see Shoes of the Magi being picked up. We might see some more Shoes of Focus come round again. Now they're going to have mana for those early game gods that struggle with those mana issues.
Yeah. Looking over at the left lane at the minute, Jermaine just zoned, oh my god, I'm a bird, out of a wave. Ellie an entire wave.
Yeah, just keeping him trying to pin back as much as possible, but it's kind of hard to really zone Bird off this experience as a Neath. He's very safe, can use the Unravel with the Bluestone Pendant to actually deal dot damage to those minions and keep them tagged, so you're going to get some, if not all, the experience and gold from it. Kind of difficult to try and do that.
Yeah, and even though Neath's ahead, she still hasn't finished her Transcendence. Whereas on the other side, Jermaine's finished his full Dev's Gloves.
Well, that's because he started off with the Bluestone Pendant as well, so he's not going to have the amount of gold that he would normally start. He'd normally be tier 2 Transcendence here, but because he started the Bluestone, it takes a little bit longer to get that online, and that's why you can see that Jermaine has a little bit of a lead in getting the stacks on, but mid lane...
Oh, some poke in the mid lane. And Poseidon falls once more.
Yeah, Poseidon
Soul
does
goes
fall.
up in the air looking for the Bastet. Can he find her?
Don't think he's going to go up with for that. He went up and he did the aerial assault just to see what was going on, but left-hand side, DoTA's going aggressive. You can see Jermaine's in the sky.
Oh my god, I'm a bit taking a lot of damage. Kanye Life doing a lot of that. Doing a lot of healing. Jermaine took the majority of that though. He's going to have to back here. He
Yeah,
can't
Jermaine-
stay around.
He's in a lot of trouble here, and if he tries to save for the experience, he's got to be very careful. The Titan don't try and all in under the tower here as well. No Will Weaver available for Bird, though.
No ultimates on anybody left. But still, this isn't safe. I don't like this call.
It's a little bit risky, but he's going to be able to get at least that one wave out of him. I mean, Jermaine, DoTA, they're a very aggressive lane, and they might be trying to bait them into a bad situation. I mean, when you look at it, Bacchus and Rama together, they are very, very strong and have the potential to turn a fight around. But look where Fails is right now. He potentially might come over for the gank attempt.
This could be a bait. This could be a good bait. If it went for the fact Neath is backing. Never mind. They'll just do the purple.
Yeah, just going to drop the purple buff down, which is a wise idea for him. I mean, you can see that Neath had backed already. They weren't going to keep the pressure up. Left-hand Harpies are available in a moment, though the right ones just got taken by Titan. And I'm wondering if MOBAs will try and contest. I don't think it's a good idea still, because they're still behind on experience.
The mid lane, the jungle, sorry, rotated to the mid lane late as well, so Titan were already there at the time.
They were, and you can check them with the golden experience now. You can see it's 4,000 experience lead for Titan, 2,500 gold lead at less than 9 minutes in. So a really strong position for them to be in. If you look at their composition, well, it's only going to get better as time goes on, really.
Looking at the gold on the support, seems like Stobex opted for the Traveler's shoes. Your favorite shoes.
Mid lane, no. Tin's in a lot of trouble again. Going to get bursted down. Does get the Kraken off, but Kanye was already down in the lurking to reduce the damage. And another kill onto Tins.
That's a 0-4 Poseidon. His Krakens aren't doing much at the minute.
They're really not, and I said that a little bit earlier on. We're going to need to see him go for some sort of supportive build. But look at Titan. They're still going aggressive, looking to try and take some more from the jungle if they can. DoTA's going aggressive.
This is a 4v3 situation as both solo laners have rotated in on this. Ataraxia's looking at DoTA's. He could go down, and he goes down. Mogao seems to be backing off on this. Bastet. Is she gonna... Are they gonna... Isis picks up the Bastet, but Pillar of Agony finds Ataraxia. Oh, and he just get... Nope. The auto attack from Hades picks that one up.
It
manages
does.
to dash out.
Can
Is he gonna
Mogao get out? I mean, Mogao's in a lot of trouble there. The double tap from Reppy. Cassat will pick him up
with the double tap.
immediately. And Tins just manages to get back to that fight and go, hey guys, how you all doing? Oh god, you're all dead? Oh, sorry, there's nothing I can do because I'm really far behind.
Yeah, that fight going in the way of Titan again. Currently 1-7 in favor of Titan. This is going to be hard to pick up.
It's a brutal situation really for the MOBAs to be in. They've switched up their roster multiple times. They've now got Fails in the jungle, Tins back to the mid lane as well. And Mogao, obviously, Hades over in the solo lane. He's very well known in this Hades, but they've just not managed to find anything going. And Titan, they're just trying to abuse this Poseidon time and time again.
Well, they can afford to. At the minute, Poseidon, with speeds 1 and Aegis 1, pretty much a free kill if you can get those actives down.
It is. I mean, if they can get the actives down, that's the main thing for them to really deal with it.
Yeah, but think about it. Isosol and Sorrel have got a shorter cooldown than Beads 1 and Aegis 1.
They do indeed have a shorter cooldown, but it's what they can do with those as well. Gank on the right-hand side, though, looking for Mogao. Gonna disengage for the time being. Fails is rotating over here to try and defend the blue buff. But look where Prime is. He's on the way too.
Zor's still got his ultimate up. Bastard's still got cats available. Everyone got their ultimates except for Mogao. Oh, never mind. His has just come up.
Fails going to trade out, and now maybe Reppy's caught out of a bad situation. They're going to beads away and try and continue to run. Fails, doesn't find the bleed and pounces back.
I think they should just disengage on this one. That's a level 13 Osiris. You don't really want to be fighting him.
You don't. As in the jungle, you see Kanye pick up that kill with the lurking in the waters onto a very weak Tins, but in the jungle, Darda's in trouble.
Yeah, Dada's being caught. Zor's gone out, though. They're looking to go on Mogao, but nothing going to be found off that one.
Yeah, they just end up backing away there. Darda's a very tanky target, hard to pin down, so instead they'll retreat, pick up those right-hand harpies that they had, and continue the farming. There's no reason for Titan to continue pressuring too much here, level. They're in such a good position. They've got not much to worry about other than just farming and continuing growing this lead slowly without trying to force it too much.
Yeah, and keeping that pressure on, like, just every now and then is stopping Limirodons from farming. They're having to answer back this pressure, try to make sure they're not dying, so they're concentrating on that rather than farming.
And the biggest issue
Very
as well,
smart.
Look where Titan's kills are. They're all on Isis and Thor, the big two targets you want them on at this stage of the game. I mean, Neith going into late game, she's a hunter, but she's not a hyper carry that we like to see. They're going to be relying on the amount of damage that Thor can put out, the double tap, and Isis Spirit Balls can get out. So giving them the kills just accelerates their build paths a little bit more for more damage.
Yeah, Isis is going to do a lot late game. Especially, she's building into that Book of Thoth, it looks like.
Yeah, it does look like a Book of Tough. Actually gone with Sprint 2 there as well, which will probably get turned into Heavenly Agility, give the team a bit more mobility, as well as an increase of 30% healing as well, which will really combine nicely with that Circle of Protection.
Also, you see Sobek going into a Creeping Curse. This could possibly be a weakening. Stops the Hades, stops the lifesteal from the Hunter. I like it.
Pretty wise idea as well. Weakening Curse pretty standard nowadays, but you're right. Get against Hades, going to be able to shut him down a little bit. But look at this Titan, looking at the Gold Fury now, and you can see the Dardes and Rama know about this one. Will they be able to steal
They know
him away?
it's happening, but the Rama ult connects, but doesn't steal the Gold Fury, unfortunately. Kraken under Kanye live. No, Kraken under Mogao. Doesn't connect. Isis is doing a lot of damage though, hitting Mogao. And Ataraxia in the back. Looking at Bastet. Is he going to find anything? Misses the autos. Just goes for the minions. Mogao going to fall to Ataraxia.
He does fall to
And looking
Ataraxia,
down
and you
here-
can see they're keeping the pressure on, looking for Jermaine now as well. The Tether's applied, and Dardas might be caught out of position here, but the team of Titan back away to pressure the mid lane instead. It's 10-1 now, and Titan are just on a warpath.
Yeah, looks like they're going to go for this tower rather than the kills though. Smarter option, getting the objective. Especially after just getting the Gold Fury. This is a huge win for Titan.
It is a huge win for them, but it was already a win from minute 2 of this game, pretty much. They were constantly on top of Myrmidons, and now pressuring the jungle, stealing away even more.
I don't know. I don't think Myrmidons is going to come back from this.
I mean, what do you think they should do, Lero, to try and get back into this right now? It's a rough ask, but there's got to be some way back in, right?
I don't know what they can do. I think at this point, it's going to have to be Titan is going to have to throw. It's going to have to be a team fight, or they're going to have to find a really good pick onto someone in Titan. Preferably the Thor or the Isis.
This is SPL, Lyral. We've seen plenty of throws before.
Hey, I mean, you throw my FP every week, you see free FP week.
Good comeback.
Every week.
Good comeback. I don't really throw it. It's just you choose to vote with me. That's your decision, not mine. 10-1 is Titan right now up against Myrmidons. And pace of the game slowed for a moment as Gold Fury is still down. You can see the goalie is around 8,000 at the moment.
Looking in the inventories, we've also got Wood advantage is going to Titan at the minute. Woods win games.
Yeah, Woods.
This is rough.
Woods do win games, but when you're up that much goals, you don't have to worry so much. But look at this rotation to the right-hand side here.
This is a lot of people in the solo lane. Solo island, no longer a solo island.
It's not solo island. You can see the pressure that's starting to put on the map. And DoTA's in a position to help defend here, but he's trying to hide himself around the corner.
I think they've seen that. I think he was just enough around the corner that they saw him.
They did see him. You can see that they actually tried to ping him on the screen there. And now they're putting more pressure on here onto the tower.
I feel like they should let this tier 1 go. It's a tier 1, like, defend a tier 2. Ooh, but the Isosol comes down on the Mogao, and he just goes down so fast.
He does go
Looking
down.
at Dardes.
Thor goes to the sky, putting the pressure on again. The wall, the double tap. Does he find it? Yes, but maybe he'll go down in trade.
I don't think so. Actually, no. Bastet doing a lot more damage than I
An
thought.
ally has left the game.
Thor.
3 for 3 today. Lyral, you have been buzzed. Monday, excuse me, you asked me if I was going to buzz, right? That was the question. And I said if you aren't as good or better than Sushi, I was going to buzz you. And that cast, and I know that you can cast better, just like I was disappointed when I had to cast Ravage, because I know that he can cast better as well, but that was not up to what Sushi did. And the issue is when we put you on camera, you panicked.
You were so nervous. The jokes were good, though. I love the conversation, Lyral, but you were really nervous. Why?
I don't know.
It's what the camera
Everything
does.
just... Yeah.
It's what the camera does.
Did you desync as well?
Yeah.
No, I had production check that repeatedly.
Okay, so you're not
Oh,
desynced.
I
was-
got asked to resync in the
Okay.
middle, but
Okay. Yeah, we
No, I meant voice-wise.
we were
I was
concerned-
wondering if you were about
Oh.
a second behind.
We were wondering if you were a second behind or something. If you're behind in game, I can understand some of that, but that wouldn't have been enough. Like that wouldn't have been the cause for us to push the button. I guarantee you was not the syncing. First of all, because that's exactly how I would have thought. But Lyral, for me, it was more along the lines of it was too nervous.
There was a lot of nerves. And the same thing I think happened to Ravage. It was a lot of nerves. One thing to note is she wasn't really qualifying her statements, right? She wasn't qualifying your statements either. And that was a big positive. And from the very beginning, I expected good things. But then the word yeah started creeping in a lot, right? It was just like, yeah, I think that's true. And yeah.
It's a big defense mechanism in casting as well.
It is.
That's the big key. It's a big defense mechanism to just buy yourself that
It's
extra
buffer.
moment of time.
It's buffer.
It's a buffer, yeah.
Yeah.
It just buys you that moment of time to
That's
think
what
about
qualifying
you're gonna say.
is. They're all buffer statements to allow your mind to catch up to where you're supposed to be thinking.
Now, the better casters, they will still buffer, but they'll buffer in different ways. And the ones that do the best are the ones that don't even seem like it was a buffer at all.
Like
but
Bart. Bart has no idea what he's talking about.
Ever. Ever. Even on patch notes. Don't have a clue.
Bart can buffer like a champion.
He's a
And you
true
never know that he's doing it. He's so pro.
He just does it on the fly. It's a prime example of it. For me, Lyral, I actually like what there was a lot of things that I enjoyed with Lyral casting that. She was getting involved, making it like lighthearted to an extent,
The
but not
big
too much.
issue was commitment. She got hyped, and then she dialed it back. She had a really good statement,
sounded
and
like
then
she
she
was worried.
let it die.
It sounded like she was worried just to go in, you know? She was like on the verge of like, Thor goes up!
She
And
was
I'm
in
like, go on then!
She was in a dinosaur onesie showing you not a bow tie.
I know.
If she had brought that dinosaur onesie, not a bow tie, blue hair, nose ring to the cast, she would have been
I
number
really
one.
feel like she should have been better than that. That's my concern. That she should have been so much better than that. I could hear it in her voice.
She
and
is
she's
better
just
than
like,
that.
Just speak.
Just like Ravage, I know is better than that.
I did not know.
Game Rebel is better than what he showed us, but when we put that spotlight on somebody, things change.
We kicked 3 people off the show this week.
We went from 12 to 6.
12 to 6, and 3 of them were this week alone. The previous 3 weeks, we lost 1 person per week.
I told production we're not buzzing anybody today.
I did not see anyone buzz today. I was like, okay, these guys should be fine.
This was supposed to be the strong week.
For
The
me,
week
this
in which
was-
we didn't get rid of anyone.
This was 2 mic issues plus nerves that killed all 3 of these people this week, and it's a real shame.
But
Real shame.
remaining, Zambash, A-Rock, Sushi, Fats, Gormizer, and Husey. esports.smitegame.com. In just a little while, a banner will appear, allowing you to vote for your favorites. The top 2 votes from the community will move on to the challenge phase. Hinduman and I will both be able to check that out as well.
That's right, and let's have a little look back at the past 3 weeks, because they're the only casters that made it through. The last 3 weeks, let's watch out and see what... She's a Belgian lady from Europe, and to be honest, she's got a chance.
Mainly grouping, I feel like they're trying to get a couple more picks on the side of Vanguard. That's rather thorough, and for 4 people, Ro is really low. Took a lot of damage from Giannis and Apollo. Giannis, they're chasing Ro.
Wow.
Ro is still here.
He's been working directly with FDOT recently, so the kid coming out of Oregon...
That pitch is awful, though.
Try to get a jump. Oh! There goes the Giannis off the spirit gun. Here comes the jump. Caged in. He's got 3.
Chiefs get the Go Fury. I don't think they're going to
goes
go
down.
This is not a good play, though, for the Chiefs, honestly. They got the
Waxy
Go
going
Fury,
on
but they're all
2.
going to die.
Oh! Shrek takes him out. And he teleports. This is curtains.
Let's talk about him first of all. Zambash, an analytical caster. We like the look of what he had in terms of like his style. And we see he went straight into the Bluestone pendant here. How do you feel about that?
It's a really nice pickup. We've seen lots of players doing this specifically out of the jungle lately. Even though Bluestone is a starter item, it gives tremendous damage effectiveness for the gold on these ability-based characters. So it's definitely a nice pickup for someone like Guan Yu, who's going to be landing multiple abilities all the time.
Side, it's going to be Fats. Coming out of Boston, a person that I've actually worked with before.
Lionel's going in the air, looking at right lane though. Moga might be looking for a cage. Down comes the dunk. Cage is out as well. They're gonna do as much as they can. Out comes the drivers like the Rock. Rock ain't gonna roll this well.
Gormizer, another North American contestant.
Now, Incon tanking this tower. He's going to take a lot of damage, but he's going to get the kill already because Vivana doing a lot of damage. In the back, we see Ploki getting the kill on Asapir. But Apollo on the left side going to go ahead and take a tier 1 tower.
This guy has a lot of potential.
Alright, get a lot of damage. Uses the Rising Jaguar to get out. Worldweaver connects, but the Darkest of Nights is now stopping the aggression from Blue Team up to this point. It comes Fusion in with the no escape. Getfish is here as well. He pulls in J4. It doesn't quite connect to Sausage, which is his real target there, but it looks like J4 will fall here. He goes up into the air, but through space of time is out from Zero's.
12 casters began the phase 1. We're down to 6 already, which is not what we expected, but now is the voting stage.
You know, when 2 of our casters said they wanted to be the hype, they wanted to be the play-by-play, right? A-Rock brought the play-by-play. Gormizer brought the play-by-play. And, you know, I'm not trying to play favorites by any regard, but we gave Sushi Australian games.
We did.
Right? We gave Liral Europe. Right? There needs to be a bigger... We gave Gormizer ranked, and I was going to use a bad word, ranked players.
Well, you were in that game, so yeah, they were ranked something, that's for sure. You said that one yourself.
You're right. Right? We gave them ranks.
Now, some of that is obviously
That's a huge disadvantage.
Just to be clear about the advantages and disadvantages, first of all, they were randomly drawn. Second of all, obviously, we have to factor in, we have to get these games beforehand. And so if we don't find them, we have to just take them from rank because patches happen. Now, good news, however, 6 guys remain, and you guys at home get to put 2 through to the next round. esports.smitegame.com. If you head over there now, you can cast your vote for who you want to see move on to the next round.
Find the banner at the top of the screen, click it, and cast your vote. Do you know who you're voting for? I'm voting for Peckies.
I'd vote for Peckies, but he always feeds in my games.
Well, actually, he fed uncontrollably.
Just the way it is. I'd vote for Adonis, but I buzzed him off the show about 10 times already. So, vote for your favorite caster and take into account they'll go through to the next phase. Remember, all these casters are competing for a shot at coming to the finals in regionals to cast at the super regionals, where we'll see which teams end up at Worlds. And the actual winner of that, well, where they're going, DM?
The winner goes to the SMITE World Championships to work with us in an official capacity. They'll be able to check out production, how we do things, and get their first real taste of esports.
So it's a big opportunity for them. And for you guys at home as well, you have a big impact in this through the whole show. You are going to be able to vote towards who you want to see win this competition. So the ones that you think deserve to go through, definitely give them a follow and definitely vote for them, because otherwise they may not be here next week.
Guys, it's been fun. Phase 1 is done, however. We have a few more weeks to go. Things are only going to get more difficult for the casters from here on. I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring to the table, but they can't get there without your votes. Again, esports.smitegame.com. Cast your votes, and we'll see you next Wednesday, guys.
Make sure you vote in. Remember, one more thing as well is that next week we'll have the live results for you before we go straight into the episode. So make sure you tune in and see which guys are going on to Phase 2.